Greetings, friends and Robloxians. Thanks for watching A Little Kingdom production. This is episode 2 of the Noob to Pro series for 2022. This game is over 2 years old and has been constantly evolving, adding so many items, quests, and there's so many ways to go about playing this game. If you haven't seen episode 1, and if you're new to playing, looking for a basic guidance to assure that you're on the right track, go watch episode 1 now or after watching this video. In episode 1, we created the island and grinded all the things to upgrade the workbench from basic workbench to a tier 1. Now I continue the grind with a goal to upgrade the workbench to a tier 2, an overall goal to upgrade the workbench to a tier 3. I also want to see and give you my expert opinion on the game's own tutorial and the new features. The Workbench has a new feature since the April 9th update when it added the Workbench recommended items. This is a button on the Workbench recommending items to craft. I'm not certain as to the reasoning for its recommendations yet. So far, it's just recommended the stone sickle. In my opinion, that stone sickle is not really needed at this time since we have such a small wheat farm. Also, the stone sickle is not really that much better than harvesting by hand, especially on such a small scale farm. As the farm grows larger, we will want to create a steel sickle eventually. There are many new things to craft on the workbench. Craft them if you like, but I think you can easily be distracted by some of those items that are not needed for a new player. You may find yourself wasting resources on items that won't help you progress as quickly as possible. The keys to progress are found in gaining experience points, that is by doing all the activities in the game such as chopping wood and mining. Along with that experience, we're unlocking the abilities to craft new items that were locked, and we gain resources needed to craft those items. For a new player, the most needed resources are wood, stone, iron, and coal. Coal is the preferred fuel on the fire pit and in the furnace. You could also use wood as fuel for fires, but you might then be wasting your wood because it is so needed in crafting items. Might as well get lots of coal from the mines. As a new player, you'll be there getting iron anyway. I did create a stone sickle. Even though I didn't want one, I did it because it was a recommended item and to see if the bench has other recommended items, but as of yet, it hasn't. I have also created a stone axe to make chopping trees easier, reducing the number of hits it takes to strike a tree to break it. In the Tier 1 workbench, I just now crafted this watering can, something that I just unlocked from the experience gained when harvesting crops. This watering can, when used on crops like my wheat, makes them grow faster. It's not a needed item, but it only costs 10 wood and I want to grow the wheat many times as quickly as possible, because it will be giving me seeds and allow me to grow an even larger wheat farm. Another reason we need wheat is that it will soon be a source of game coins. Right now I have 0 because I have not sold anything. As a new player, we will sell the wheat we harvest to Tom in exchange for those coins. The coins allow us to purchase needed and wanted things from the NPC vendors in the hub, and some that visit our island. Later, those coins are also going to be useful in vending machines. We'll discuss vending machines in detail later. As of now, know that selling items to NPC vendors in the hub will gain us economy experience points, and eventually with enough of those points, we'll unlock the ability to access vending. To a brand new player with no XP, there's no access to vending. Let's not get distracted. The next workbench upgrade we're currently working towards is Tier 2 and requires a resource that we need to craft called smelted iron. I usually call any ore that has been smelted ingots, because they have an ingot shape. The game calls them smelted iron. You smelt iron ore into ingots on the campfire, in a furnace, or in the industrial smelter. As a new player, we will first craft the campfire. After placing the campfire, open it up and start adding ores to smelt, and coal to fuel the fire. Again, I try to be careful not to use the precious wood as a fuel. A recent update allows us to load the campfire with 10 ores and a fuel source, and it continues to smelt or cook while you go grinding or building on your island. This is such a good update. We will need at least 50 iron ingots to upgrade the workbench to a tier 2 and mass amounts of iron for other items. So my next item to craft will be the furnace, which allows us to smelt even more iron, 3 at a time, as well as being able to load in even more. I continue to grind trees, harvest wheat, the berry bush, while my campfire smelts the iron. I look on the workbench and think about all the things I could craft, but not wanting to get sidetracked or delay the progress. We will need a shovel once the pirate Davy visits us and gives us a treasure map. We could use a fishing rod to go fishing in the hub. I will craft a sword in a moment when I go out and hunt slime mobs to get valuable loot and combat experience. But right now I am just window shopping and thinking about all the things I will do soon. I have been playing as a noob for 30 minutes up to this point in this series, including the first video, episode 1. Much of that has been shown in time-lapse, or little bits were cut out where I may have paused awkwardly, just AFK for a few minutes. No reason to show all that, but just now I cut out 5 minutes of gameplay where I was running back and forth, grinding the island over and over and smelting the iron on the campfire. I decide now is a good time to take a break of those things. I made a sword and I'm going to hunt slimes. Armed with the sword, I make my way to the hub. In the hub, there's another portal that's to the right, facing away from the main portal. It has the NPC Adventurer in front of it. This portal leads to Slime Island, where we find our first mobs to do battle with. A new player will need to be careful with their health or hit points. Try not to get hit by the mobs too much or you will be killed, oofed, sent back to the spawn point in the hub. But that's okay, it's not that far of a trek to get back here. You can eat berries and apples or other fruit if you have to replenish your health while doing combat. There's also a mob boss here, the Slime King. Lately, the Slime King has been very popular for players hunting the elusive rare drops like the pink sticky gear. All gears are valuable, but the pink sticky gear is incredibly valuable for crafting very important items such as industrial smelters, tier 2 vending machines, and for upgrading totems to a really high level. Don't worry if you don't understand what I'm talking about now. After playing the game and leveling up, reading the descriptions on the workbench, you will learn very quickly. Just make sure when trading with other players that you don't get tricked out of an item because you might not fully understand its value. I spent about 10 minutes there fighting the slime mobs and mob boss and gained a bunch of combat experience leveling up and gained a bunch of mob drops including green and blue gears. I did not get any pink gears this time. Another item I collected while at Slime Island was bamboo. This is a fun item that grows in segments. You can plant the bamboo in grass on your island and then it grows up about 10 blocks high. It can be climbed and used as a ladder, or you can chop it down above the first segment and it will grow back. You can make vibrant green blocks out of that. The shoots then can also be dried in the campfire or furnace, and you can craft dried bamboo blocks if you like. Meh. Anyway, back to our progress. Back at my island, I continued to grind while smelting iron. I'm now very close to achieving the goal. While waiting for the last few ingots to be done in the campfire, I plant the bamboo. I also think about a more strategic way to chop wood, so I plant the trees in a line. We can talk about AFK farming another time. I see I've also spawned my first flower. One of the quests in the games comes from Folko, an NPC vendor in the hub. They task us with growing flowers and reward us with exclusive items. Here we are, the moment I've grinded an hour for. I can now upgrade this bench to a tier 2. It looks a bit more advanced, standing tall. Inside, there are many more items we can craft, but again, we want to stay focused on the most necessary things to progress. Our goal is to get the tier 3 workbench, and to get there, we'll need a new resource, maple wood. In the next episode, I'll be questing for the tier 3 bench, and to continue to review the various ways of gameplay. Once we have the tier 3 workbench, your gameplay may become more focused on one thing or another. Let us know what you think or how you like to play. Thanks for watching this Noob to Pro tutorial episode 2. Please hit the like and subscribe and leave a comment. Join the Little Kingdom Discord to continue the conversation. A link to that is in this video's description. Make sure to come back and watch episode 3, which will probably conclude the Noob to Pro 2022 mini series. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, have fun and keep it imaginary.